Hey everyone, it's day 28 of Brain Injury Awareness Month. We're almost to the end of the month. I'm gonna do a solo video today. Patrick's over there, he just got out of the shower, so he's indisposed. He's also spraying an enormous amount of Curve on himself before we go to bed, which I don't really know why that's necessary. So, topic for today. I come in contact with a lot of people who have been following my story and Patrick's story since he got hurt, and when they see me, they, want to offer words of what I assume to be consolation and empathy. Unfortunately, some of these things that they say are not only not helpful, but they're actually incredibly discouraging. So here we go. Here are 5 things that you should never say to a caregiver. Number 1. You look so tired. That is not a helpful thing to say. That's me. Number 1, because I'm most likely exhausted. And on the off chance that I'm actually not tired and I'm actually having a good day, now I'm wondering why I look terrible. It's really one of those things that you just kind of want to send into your mental filter and let it get caught there. Like the frogs and squirrels did when I was growing up in my pool filter. Number 2. I don't know how you do it. Okay, it really depends on how this statement is intended to be received. It can be taken actually as a compliment, meaning like, I don't know how you do it. Like, you're a superhero, you're amazing. It can be said like that. Or it can be said like, I don't know how you do it, meaning like, God, what an awful chore that must be. And I could never do that horrible, horrible thing. And you have devoted your whole life to doing such a horrible, horrible thing. I don't know how you do it. Be very careful when uttering these words. Make sure that your intention is clearly stated, okay? 3. God doesn't give you more than you can handle. Okay, I'm a spiritual lady. I believe in God. I know that God has had me in the palm of his hand since Patrick's accident and has been raining down an outpouring of blessings onto us. That being said, God doesn't give you more than you can handle is never a good thing to say to somebody. First of all, it makes it seem like accidents like Patrick's are predestined, which they're not. And it makes it seem like this was, God's plan. Like, he sent a thunderbolt down and was like, you will be caregiver and you will be survivor and there will be traumatic brain injury. It's just not a good thing to say to somebody. Brain injury often feels like more than we actually can handle. So when we're told that God doesn't give us more than we can handle, it also sort of makes me feel like, I don't know, like I'm a weak person because I feel like I can't handle this and God intended it for me, so I should be stronger. Just don't say that. Number 4, and this is a twofer, okay? What can I do to help? This right here is a prime example of somebody really actually trying to help a caregiver. The problem is that when you're a caregiver, you are so completely overwhelmed with doctor's appointments and therapists and errands and trying to keep the house clean and trying to manage symptoms and trying to advocate for new doctors that what can I do for help? That question comes to you and you want to take advantage of it, but in the moment, you can't think of anything and you don't know what to say. The second part of this is to say to a caregiver, hey, you call me if you need anything. Going back to the first part, with all the phone calls about the advocating and the appointments and the this and that and this and that and this and that and this and that. Calling somebody to ask for help is probably never going to happen, even though it probably should, and you really are trying to offer help. These 2 things, both of them, are not really helpful. The most helpful thing that you can do, honestly, is to call a caregiver and say, hey, I'm going to the grocery store. Can I pick up anything for you? I'm going to the bank. Could I swing by and maybe make a deposit for you? Hey, I'm off on Tuesday. Could I maybe take whoever it is to a movie or to a cup of coffee and maybe you could go get a haircut. You could just have 2 hours to read a book or something like that. Number 5, the worst thing that you can say to a caregiver, the worst, is nothing. Nothing at all is the worst thing that you can say to a caregiver. I think for some people it's just too hard, and because you don't know what to say, you don't say anything. Especially after the survivor is past the acute point, 6 months to a year, and everybody's lives go back to what they were before. People tend to not call or visit after that, and it becomes very lonely. There's a misunderstanding about brain injuries. It's not like when you break your knee or your foot or, you have some kind of injury that you go through rehabilitation and then you're pretty much back to normal. I mean, brain injury is a chronic thing, and it's also, you know, the slowest to recover in terms of injuries that you can sustain. So while everybody's lives go on, for brain injured people and for caregivers, you know, the journey trugs on. Reaching out to a caregiver and telling them that they're loved and telling them that you support them and just lending them an ear and letting them talk, those things are really invaluable. And any caregiver and survivor who have just one person like that, you know, are very, very lucky. So just bear these things in mind. Maybe tomorrow we'll do 5 things not to say to a survivor and Patrick can host it. What do you think, bud?
What?
I know. What do you think, sweetheart?
Why are you saying bud?
I don't know why I'm calling you bud. You're not my bud. Well, you are my bud. You're my bud and you're my sweetheart and you're my lover too. You're my Snoopy, you're my sugar, you're my ginger snap.
Yeah.
And you're my bud.
That's a good one.
Thanks.
That's a good one.
There you go.